Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports, another football video, and today I'm going over my Week 16 predictions to the 2022 NFL season. I do predictions on the channel every single week, so if you enjoyed the video, make sure to come back next week. Hopefully, I'm going to be getting some more content out this week now that I'm done with finals, so I'm hopefully going to be doing some playoff videos, maybe some basketball videos. We'll see. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below. Let's get right into it. First off, we have the Week 15 recap. This was suggested to me by our channel member, Quinn Lacey, a couple weeks ago. I've been doing it ever since. I kind of like it at the start of the video. So my picks are on the left, the actual scores are on the right. This week I was pretty okay. I got the Niners game, I got the Vikings game, I got the Browns game. I got the Bills game, I got the Saints game, I got the Eagles game, I got the Chiefs game, I got the Steelers game, and then I missed the Jaguars game, I got the Lions game, I missed the Broncos game, I missed the Patriots game, I missed the Bucks game, I missed the Titans game, and I missed the Commanders game. So I finished 9-6, which is not the worst in the world, but it could be better. And then we don't know the score of the Rams-Packers yet, because that's tomorrow night. But yeah, 9-6 is pretty good. A lot of my scores were pretty similar. Niners-Seahawks, my score was pretty far off. But the Vikings game, I had the pretty similar score for the Vikings. My Browns-Ravens score was a little too high. Bills-Dolphins, I got pretty close to accurate. Dolphins got a few more points than I expected them to, so the Bills. Saints-Falcons, I predicted a tie, but the Saints were my pick, per se, even though it technically said 23-23. I expected the Saints to win, but I really didn't want to pick them. And then it was 21-18 was the final score, so my score was pretty on point, although I technically picked a tie. Eagles-Bears, score and score differential were all pretty close. I thought that the Bears would score a few more points, but overall it was a pretty good game. Chiefs-Texans, I got the Chiefs score pretty close, I got the Texans score pretty close. I got the margin of victory way off. Steelers-Panthers, pretty accurate for both teams. Cowboys-Jaguars, pretty accurate for both teams. Although I had the wrong teams winning, I thought the Cowboys would run away with that game. And then the Jaguars would get some junk time points. Lions over Jets, I had the right team, wrong score. Cardinals-Broncos, similar score, wrong team. Raiders-Patriots, could have been like the identical score if we had stopped them, but we didn't. So I had the wrong score, wrong team. But the Patriots score right. Bucks, Raiders, Bucks Bengals, everything in that game was wrong. Although the score ended up being fairly close. 30-27, 34-23, but I had the team swapped. Chargers Titans, score was pretty close, had the wrong team. And then Commanders Giants, score was had the wrong team. Moving on to the predictions, we have Thursday Night Football, Jaguars-Jets. I have the Jaguars beating the Jets 27-23. If the Patriots are going to go down, the Jets are going to come down with us. I expect both the Patriots and the Jets to be 7-8 by the end of this week. I think the Jaguars are going to be going a tear. I think that they're going to finish off the season strong, potentially winning their division. And I think that this win over the Jets on Thursday Night Football is going to be the start of it. Although I do think that the Jets have some promise, the Jaguars just look like a better team right now, and it's very hard to pick against Trevor Lawrence when Mike White and Zach Wilson and whatever's going on there is all over the place. Saturday at 1 o'clock, Christmas Eve, we have Ravens-Falcons, we have Bills-Bears, we have Titans-Texans, we have Saints-Browns, Bengals-Patriots, Chiefs-Seahawks, Lions-Panthers, and Vikings-Giants. I have the Ravens beating the Falcons 20-16. I think that the Ravens will figure it out on offense against the Falcons. They'll be able to get the win. The Falcons have looked like one of the worst teams in the league recently. And if the Ravens lose this game, then not only will they be losing the division, they might fall to the 6 or the 7 seed instead of the 5 seed. And I think that they'll probably be out in the first round of the playoffs unless Lamar comes back. Bills-Bears, I have the Bills winning 40-34. I think the Bears will put up some points. I think this will be a barn burner. Big offensive game from both teams. I think that Justin Fields is going to have another one of those 100-yard rushing games, 200-yard passing games. Josh Allen's going to have a game of his own, and it's going to be a phenomenal one to watch. Bengals-Patriots. I think that we'll keep it close. I think we'll have a good defensive game. I think that Mac Jones will throw a pick 6. They'll get a punt return for a touchdown, and we'll have 47 penalties on kickoffs. Saints-Browns, I have the Saints winning 23-18. I think that the Saints are the better team between the two of them. I think that Deshaun Watson is going to get better and better every week, but I think that the defense is going to have a poor week, and I think that somehow Nick Chubb is going to be the weak link on offense. I think it's going to be a very weird game. I think that they're going to get a lot of yards, but they're not going to be able to get into the end zone, and I think that the Saints will win 23-18. Might be a bold pick with how the Browns have won 2 of their last 3 games, and the Saints barely won a game against the Falcons this week, but I really have so much faith in the Saints, even though they've really disappointed me every week this year. I have the Titans beating the Texans 27-23. The Titans have looked horrendous, but they can't lose to the Texans. Can they? Can they? I mean, Houston's looked better than Tennessee the last 2 weeks, so you never know, but I believe in the Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry. I believe Derrick Henry can run 250 yards in the Texans next week. Vikings-Giants, I have the Vikings winning 30-24. The Giants will put up a fight, but in the end, I think the Vikings will try their very darndest to get to that number 1 seed, hoping the Eagles lose in Dallas. I have the Lions beating the Panthers 37-20. I predicted a big win for the Lions last week. They got a small one. I'm going to predict another big win again. Panthers, nothing to these Lions. These Lions are going to go all over them. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to go for 257 yards and 4 touchdowns. Yeah. Chiefs-Seahawks, have the Chiefs winning 30-20. I think the Seahawks will put up a fight, but Kansas City ultimately is going to win that game. Moving on to Saturday at 4 o'clock, we have probably the 2 best games of this week. I think it's non-negotiable. These are the 2 best games this week. We have Niners-Commanders, and we have Cowboys versus Eagles. I have the Niners beating the Commanders 30-22. I think Washington's going to put up a fight. I think Taylor Heinicke's going to have a great game. But in the end, the Niners are just the better team, and I think that the Niners will be able to pull out the win. Christian McCaffrey's going to have a huge game. Brock Purdy's going to have another 100 passer rating game. Not many mistakes. Good defense performance. Commanders going to put up a fight, but I think that the Niners should be able to win that one. And then Cowboys-Eagles, I have the Cowboys winning 33-29. I think that it's going to be a tight game the whole time. It's in Dallas, which obviously gives the Cowboys the advantage. And I think that the Cowboys are going to want to bounce back after last week. The Cowboys, I don't believe, have two losses in a row all season. They're going to want to get revenge on the Eagles for that previous loss this year. And although I do believe they can no longer win the division, the Cowboys need a win in order to stay ahead of the Giants and potentially even the Lions in the playoff race, because the Cowboys only have 4 losses. So maybe not the Lions, but if they want to keep their position at the 5 spot and maybe potentially try and get that 1 seed, if the Eagles somehow lose out, then they need a win this week. Saturday Night Football, we have Steelers-Raiders. I have the Steelers winning 24-23. I think that this will unironically be one of the better games this week. Both of these teams are coming on strong late in the season. Both of these offenses have looked pretty serviceable. The Raiders' defense looked okay some parts of the game this week, but ultimately I think the Steelers are going to be the stronger second half team, and they're going to be able to win the game 24-23. And both of these teams are 6-8. I don't think either of them can make the playoffs. I think that the Jaguars are the only ones that can make the playoffs, considering the Titans are 7-7, and the Jaguars need to beat them for the division. So I think that both of these 2 teams are out of the picture for the wild card, but this could be a big game for confidence moving into next season. If Mike Tomlin wants to try and get to 9-8, he needs to win this one to get to 7-8 first. So yeah, big game for both teams. I think the Steelers will be able to pull it out, though. I think Mike Tomlin's really going to want that 9-8 record to hold his 18-year streak. Christmas Day, we have Dolphins versus Packers, and we have Rams versus Broncos. I have the Dolphins beating the Packers 30-27. I have the Rams beating the Broncos 20-17. Big Christmas Day games. Not really. Dolphins Packers, I think that's going to be a snooze fest. Although the Packers offense has looked pretty decent recently, I think I have the score prediction high optimistically, but I do believe it will be a low-scoring game. I think the Dolphins' defense is going to step up, but their offense is still going to look lethargic like it has the last few weeks. And then Rams-Broncos. I think Baker Mayfield will make the Rams' offense look a little bit better than they have with John Wolford, but Cooper Kupp's still out. Ben Skoranek might have a good game. You never know. We'll see. Denver just is the most boring team in the league. They've put up over 20 points 2 weeks in a row now. So against this Rams defense, they could be able to do it again. I just don't know if I trust their offense enough to do it 3 weeks in a row. If the Broncos win this week, then the Broncos will probably move up in the power rankings, and I might start expecting a little bit more from their offense, have a little bit more optimism going into next season. But until I see that, I'm going to pick the Rams. Last but certainly not least, we have Sunday night, Christmas night game, Tampa Bay versus the Arizona Cardinals. Oh boy, this is the worst game they could have possibly picked for Christmas night. Tampa's been the second most boring team in the league this season after the Broncos, and Arizona has their third string quarterback. I mean, there's not much to say about this game. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning because if Tom Brady loses to a third string quarterback in a must-win game in order to make the playoffs, then he is no longer Tom Brady. He is old, washed up, and needs to retire. So if the Buccaneers lose this game, they're not making the playoffs, in my opinion. I don't think they'll win both divisional games if they lose this week. And if they lose this week, then whoever they lose to, whether it's the Falcons or the Panthers, that team will win the NFC South. So I have the Bucs beating the Cardinals 23-13, in the hopes that they are able to clinch the playoff spot. I don't care about Tampa. I care about Gronk. Gronk is gone, so we'll see how Tom Brady does. But I expect a win from Tom Brady against Trace McSorley on Sunday Night Football on Christmas. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Huge shout out to Quinn Lacey for supporting the channel with a channel membership.